Stu Kohn, and I'm being joined by my son, Garrett Kohn, here at East Brunswick High School for another EBTV wrestling broadcast. Garrett, how do you see tonight's Red Division matchup?
First, thanks for having me. Great to be here with you, Dad. I think it's going to be a toss-up. It's going to be a competitive match. I think every match is going to count. I spoke to both coaches beforehand. They both see it really coming down to every single match, coming down to bonus points. A lot of close competition within the GMC. So I think it's going to be a good one. I think we're going to see a lot of action tonight.
I see East Brunswick's taking a lot of strides forward in the right direction and a vastly improved team from last year. What do you think that's attributed to?
I think both programs don't have a lot of graduating seniors, a lot of young guys coming up through the ranks, a lot of time to focus on the young guys, get them ready to wrestle at this level. I think we're going to see a lot of good young wrestling tonight.
So for me and my son Garrett, we'll be back with tonight's action.
Here at East Brunswick, sportsmanship is always in season. There will be no tolerance for any negative behaviors such as taunting, trash talking, and verbal, written, or physical conduct related to race, gender, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion. Please keep all comments towards players, coaches, and officials positive. Thank you, and now here are your starting lineups. Starting at 132 for Woodbridge, Xavier Moe or Donovan Kress. And for East Brunswick, Connor Zamo. At 138 for the Barons, Tyler Simkevich. And for East Brunswick, Colin Shammy. At 144 for the Woodbridge Barons, Chris Brown. And for East Brunswick, George Grostwitz. At 150 for Woodbridge, Felix Medina. And for East Brunswick, Bailey Cuomo. At 157 for the Barons, Louis Castaneda. And for East Brunswick, James Milligan. At 165 for Woodbridge, Tyler Bullhauer. And for East Brunswick, Sar Hutchman. At 175 for Woodbridge, Jimmy Bullhauer. And for East Brunswick, Israel Thomas. At 190 for Woodbridge, Ed Kaminsky. And for East Brunswick, Russell Novak. At 215 for the Woodbridge Barons, Caleb Barahana. And for East Brunswick, Ben Ehrlich. At 285 for Woodbridge, Kevin Rosario. And for East Brunswick, James Mallon. At 106 for Woodbridge, Makai Thomas. And for East Brunswick, Dom Lizard. At 113 for Woodbridge, Andrew Roy. And for East Brunswick, we have either Jake Juski or Daniel Montgomery. At 120 for the Barons, Angelo Campos. And for East Brunswick, again, Jake Juski or Daniel Montgomery. Rounding out the evening at 126, we have Robert Hansen for the Woodbridge Barons, and for East Brunswick, Aiden Sampson Huggin.
So we're back. We're back live at the East Brunswick High School gym. The East Brunswick Bears taking on the Woodbridge Barons. Our referee Ron Lubnowski flips the disc. Green has choice. In a minute we'll tell you what that means. They're going to have even bouts, which means
Make sure we're circling first points.
in the even bouts,
Okay, and if I need help on choice, that's more important too. Let me know. Okay.
I was referring to the referee right there, but in even bouts, East Brunswick will be responsible for sending the man to the mat first, or actually first wrestler. Today we have girls and boys that participate, and it'll also mean they have choice and position to begin the second period. So we're going to start tonight's action at 1:32, which was randomly selected after the weigh-ins. And taking the mat now for, well, Woodbridge will have to send the mat first. They sent 2 wrestlers. So it looks like this is going to be Donovan Kress. And he is a freshman who also plays soccer for the Barons. Likes to go to the gym in his free time.
Come on this side, bud. You're still red, but stay on this side.
And he will be taking on from East Brunswick. What do we got there, Garrett?
Connor Zamo from East Brunswick here, coming out at 132 pounds. And you saw the Woodbridge wrestler came out first. That's what you were talking about just a little bit ago. East Brunswick having the even bouts. Woodbridge had the odd bouts. So Woodbridge had to send out first so that the East Brunswick coach could figure out who they want to send out to wrestle here.
So how does that play in a strategy, Garrett?
Plays in a strategy because you get half the bouts. You get either the odd bouts or the even bouts where you have to send out first. So there's certain situations, certain competitive matches where you may want to bump a weight class or bump a wrestler up a weight class if you think that you've got a better competitive shot wrestling a wrestler in a different weight class. If you have multiple wrestlers, we're going out of bounds here, so we'll reset in the center neutral. If you have multiple wrestlers at different weight classes, you also might want to send a wrestler out depending on who you think has a better shot at winning.
So both wrestles here, head-to-head tie. We're about a minute into the first period. We wrestle 3 2-minute periods. Wrestlers make it a little bit easier for the official tonight. East Brunswick wearing the green and Woodbridge in the black and red. And the teams are represented. Home team is always green and the away team is red.
Which will make it easy for the official tonight. You'll notice on the official's wrists, he's got a wristband for each color. The same colors you were just referencing there. The green wristband for the green or home team and the red wristband for the away or red team. And in this case, anytime you see the right hand or the green hand go up, that's points for East Brunswick. Anytime you see the red hand go up, that's points for Woodbridge.
Thank you for the explanation, Garrett. We got 30 seconds to go here in the first 2-minute period. Both wrestlers pretty much just looking for an opening. They're in that head-to-head tie. And it's East Brunswick attempting a headlock.
And no points yet here. Looking for it, but no points yet. We reset it neutral. No points earned. So still 0-0 here as we approach the final 10 seconds of the period. East Brunswick wrestler in on a high single. We'll see if he can get 2 before the buzzer.
And he does.
And he does. A
Right.
buzzer beater 2.
That's why you can never let up in wrestling. Time, it's a game of time and seconds. Seconds and inches.
We mentioned before that on the odd bouts, Woodbridge, the away team, would have choice. So in this case, the Woodbridge wrestler has choice. He takes his choice and goes bottom. So he's going to go on the bottom or the defensive position. And they're going to go on a top-bottom situation. So now the East Brunswick wrestler will go on top, and that's how we'll start the second period. Now in this top-bottom situation, our top wrestler, he's looking to turn the bottom wrestler, the Woodbridge wrestler, to his back. If he exposes his back to the mat, he gets points. The bottom wrestler is going to try to do what he's doing right here, which is get a reversal. Looks like he secures a reversal, so he gets 2 points for that.
Well, Connor was trying to cradle. Crest popped through it. Now he ends up on top, so he's got 2 for the reversal. He's going to pick up at least 3 back points here, which he's looking for a fall. A fall would terminate the action, and the team with the fall would pick up 16 points.
East Brunswick wrestler here fighting off his back, trying to stay off, avoid getting a pin here. Woodbridge wrestler trying to everything he can to get both those shoulders down to the mat and look for a fall here. And nothing yet. The officials holding 3 near fall points if they end up resetting.
He's got about a minute on the clock here to work with. The East Brunswick wrestler has to try to get parallel, maybe roll through this. He's He's in a better position than he was. He has his left leg hooked, keeping him from exposing his shoulders closer to the mat. He's been doing a good job fighting. He's got 30 seconds more to go here. And he managed to come out of the pin combination. The 3 back points are awarded. That takes Kress up 5-3.
5-2.
5-2, I'm sorry.
And Woodbridge wrestler still in control as we go out of bounds here. We're going to get a restart in the center of the mat. When we come back to the center, the East Brunswick wrestler is going to be on bottom.
Just like the first period, it'd be ideal if he could pick up some points at the end of the period. He picked up the 2-point takedown right on the buzzer.
Stay flat, don't move.
Right here, he's got 14 seconds to work with and try to maybe get an escape for a quick 1 or a reversal for 2. Kress has that leg hook. He's determined to keep Connor down, not give up any points.
Connor trying to get to his feet here, but no luck as time expires here in the second period. Choice is going to go back to Connor's A move on the East Brunswick side. And Connor's going to select bottom. So we're going to start the third period here with Connor on bottom and Donovan Kress on top for our final 2-minute period. Going into the third period here, Donovan Kress with a 5-2 lead. We go out of bounds, and we get a fresh start.
You're down, face me.
So both coaches, as we were talking to both coaches prior to the match, see this as a tonight, as a close dual meet. So every bout plays dividend on the final team score. You know, you want to try to win the close bouts.
Every point counts in a match like this. Connor to his feet, in on a high single, in on the leg, looking for a reversal, takes him down to the mat, and secures a 2-point reversal here for East Brunswick, bringing our score to 5-4. East Brunswick wrestler down by 1 here.
So you see Coach Langle telling him to let his man go, sacrifice the 1 point in order to get 2. And the strategy is going to work here if Connor can pick up a takedown. He's got to hand a singlet there. He's got to let go of that. Can't grab singlets. That's a technical violation. Got away with it there. The referee was on the far side. Didn't quite catch it.
And we're in the neutral position again. Connor let Kress up here, so he's down by 2, down 6-4. A takedown here would tie the match for Connor.
Connor's had the advantage on his feet. He has scored a takedown at the end of the first period, so it should be a comfortable position for Connor. As he dives in, comes up short.
Connor pushing the pace here, trying to get in on a move, looking for a shot, then maybe a throw by or a headlock. We got about 30 seconds here left in the period. Connor needs a takedown to tie this match. Connor in on a single, looking out of bounds. They roll out of bounds. No points. We're still neutral.
Center.
He's got 26 seconds in wrestling. If anybody's ever wrestled, they know 26 seconds is an eternity out there.
Sure, and as we saw in the first period, I mean, Connor only had a couple seconds left and secured that takedown.
He capitalized on it, and that's what he's got to do here. He's got 26 seconds to work with, and he needs a takedown.
Connor again diving in, but wasn't able to secure any legs there. Still reaching for the leg.
Now he's got to reach up for a half. He's in a good position if he could finish.
If he could hook an angle, grab the head,
and he could pick
expose the back.
Oh, he got rolled. He needs to get. He's got him. He's got
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
We're out of bounds with 1.1 seconds left.
Center. Let's go. Put it on. Let's go. Put it on. Let's go.
We're at 6-4 with 1.1 on the clock. I'm looking at Kress to take his first move and just be defensive here, and we're looking for Connor to take a deep shot. Little strategy by Kress, gave up the stall warning to avoid the takedown, and gets away with a 6-4 win to start our action at 1:32.
Smart play there by Kress, just backing up. He had no previous stalling warning. So what you saw there at the edge of at the end of that bout, the Woodbridge wrestler Kress, Donovan Kress, backed up almost immediately. You're not really allowed to do that in wrestling. We call those stalling warnings, or stalling, and you'll see that when the official puts his hand up in a fist. And we saw that at the end of the match. In this case, it was a strategic play by Kress.
You're over here, buddy.
So for Woodbridge, taking the mat now is Xavier Moe. He's 8-8 on the season. He's a senior, and he'll be taking on
Kohn from East Brunswick, who's 16-34 in his career, been wrestling for about 5 years, and 7-10 on the season for Shamey.
Center. Set.
Xavier Moe is third at the East Brunswick Bear Classic, held back in December.
And both seniors here on the match. Two senior guys wrestling here against each other. We also asked some of the wrestlers before the match who some of their favorite teachers were. Coincidentally, Shamey said his favorite teacher was also his coach, Mr. Matt Pazinko.
As did Xavier Moe. His favorite teacher is Mr. Monaco, head coach of Woodbridge.
We're still neutral here. Moe in on a single. Shamey trying to get around the back for two, and he does. That's 2 takedown for Shamey.
Well, Kohn picks up 2 with the crossface and sprawl around. And just as fast, Xavier Moe pops up for a 1-point escape, which is called the neutral position. He picks up 1 point. So we're at 2-1, midway through the first period here.
To our viewers, you'll see on your screen, on the left side of your screen, the team score, which is going to show 3-0 for the Barons, as on the first bout, the Barons earned 3 points from the decision at the 132-pound match. On the right side, you'll see the bout score. So on the left side, your match score. On the right side, your bout score, which is the match that we're watching right now.
So the action here is at 138, which in reality now is 140 as of January 15th. 2 pounds are added to each weight class to allow for mid-season growth by the student athletes. So our first period's going to wind down at a 2-1 score.
And choice is going to go back to East Brunswick here because it's an even match.
So tell us what happened there. I saw the referee cross his wrist.
In that situation, East Brunswick is saying that they want to defer their choice. So even though they had choice, they're going to defer to the third period, which means Woodbridge is going to get choice in the second period. Xavier Moe takes bottom, which means Shamey will be on top. And in this case,
good hold by the official. He popped out, but the referee said, let me see, this is going to be a reversal situation. So good hold there by our official, Ron Bobnowski, wearing number 111 on his back. All referees are assigned a number for easy identification.
You're down, Green.
Near the edge there, as we were restarting that period, Xavier Moe got a reversal, so now the score goes to 3-2.
We get a fresh start in the bottom. Shamey needs to kind of set the table, bring his knees in, try to explode, establish hand control, try to get out of there. Xavier Moe on top, Kohn Shamey on bottom, looking for a reversal here. He's in, well, he pops his head out for the 1. Going to tie our score at 3-3.
Green, you're on this side.
And we're going to go out of bounds here in the neutral position, so we'll restart in the center of the mat on our feet.
That third voice you hear occasionally, our ref is mic'd up. We're trying not to step on him when he speaks, so you can hear what it's like for the wrestlers in the middle of the mat. But the referee does give instruction. We don't always see that from home or from the bleachers, but he'll tell the wrestlers, you know, work to the middle, what position they're in, different things he wants to get through to them during the bout. So we're tied 3-3 in the second. Wrestlers in a head-to-head tie. Shamey with a nice attempt at a single, converts it to a double, and he picks it up. Good aggressive wrestling by Shamey as he's picking up back points. Now tell us a little bit how back points are earned, Garrett.
anytime the top wrestler puts the bottom wrestler in a position where their back is exposed to the mat beyond a 45-degree angle,
Yes.
you're going to see
2 takedown, 2 back.
you're going to see the official swipe his hands, and what he's doing in that moment is he's counting. For every second that he swipes,
Caution green.
it correlates to a certain number of
Probably on the belly
points
button, buddy.
that the
Back
top
off.
wrestler can earn for exposing the bottom wrestler to his
Come up
back.
top, green.
Chamois was warned for starting position. You can have 2 cautions. The third one would be a violation. So wrestler needs to secure the right starting position. So Chamois has a caution on him now. Coach is yelling to him from the sidelines, get set properly. He wants to be the right hand on the belly button and the left hand on the elbow.
Another quick explanation on the score. Just a moment ago, it was 3-3. Reason we ended up at 7-3 is Chamois ended up on a takedown and 2 near fall points. So that gave him a 4-point lead. So now it's 7-3 as we go into the third period. You might recall that Chamois deferred the choice to Woodbridge in the second period. So the choice is going to go back to him. And in this case, he's going to choose bottom.
Well, that's where the strategy worked out for East Brunswick. They'd rather have choice in the third period. You know, knowing what they have to do, that can always be a benefit.
Can't do that, buddy.
So referee stopped that for potentially dangerous.
Got it?
Looked like Kohn had
Next
his
time it's gonna leave.
air supply cut off
You got it.
by Xavier Moe across the throat. So we're going to get a fresh start here.
Chamois to his feet, hips out, looks for a reversal, and he gets it. So another 2 points here for Chamois. That's going to put us at 9-3 in this bout. Chamois gets Moe to his back. We get near fall swipes from the wrestling official for a total of 5 seconds, which gives Chamois an additional 3 points. That's going to extend our lead to 12 points to 3 points.
Well, every point is crucial for the overall team score. So when you have a guy on his back, you want to stick him and pick up the 6 points for your team. Bonus points are key for team victory.
So we know that a decision is 3 points. If the match were to end here, Stu, how many points would East Brunswick earn for this win?
You're down.
Well, right now they're up 12-3, so that would be a major decision. 8 or more is a major decision. So Kohn has to work hard here to keep from giving up points, or at the same time trying to score some more. If he can up that margin of victory to 15, it would be a technical fall, or obviously, as you know, if he could pin him, he'd pick up 16 points. And he's working for that fall.
And it looks like we're going to get more near fall swipes here from the official. He's holding 2. And the reason he hasn't there we go. The reason he didn't award those points just yet is because Chamois from East Brunswick was holding the same move. In that case, you have to let go of the move before you can get those near fall points that you earned. He gets them, extends his lead to 14-3, which is an 11-point lead as we go into the final 15 seconds of this bout.
So he's still looking for the fall. He's somewhat got the major in the bank, unless Chamois gets a burst of action here. But this is going to, in all likelihood, give East Brunswick 14 points.
Shake, boys.
This is going to bring our team score to 4 points for the Bears and 3 points for the Barons. Again, 4 points on that major decision and 3 points for the Barons on the first match, a regular decision. So it's a 4-3 match going into our third bout of the evening.
Your side, buddy.
For East Brunswick at 144 pounds, we've got George Krostowitz. And who do we have for Woodbridge?
For Woodbridge, we have Tyler Sinkovich
Shake hands,
taking the
boys.
mat. He's a 2-5 sophomore.
Krostowitz here, a freshman.
Tyler also a football and baseball player for the Barons. Krostowitz trying to come around, cover the hips. You need to cover the hips to pick up the takedown. He's close He's got to come around. He's got to kick that leg back, and he does. It's a good position right now. He's got a tight waist. He's riding tight. He's got the bar in on the near side. He's trying to run that bar overhead and pick up some back points. And he's circling through. He's got it. He's picking up back points. You see our referee, 111, giving the swipes. He's holding 3 back points.
6 points here for East Brunswick would be big. That'll be a 6-point swing if we can get it.
Referee looking for the fall.
And he does. He finds it. George Krostowitz going out there and pinning his opponent, which is going to give East Brunswick an additional 6 points, bringing our team score to 10 for the Bears and 3 for the Barons. Now we're moving on to the 150-pound weight class. I spoke to both coaches before the match, Stu, and they both said that this is a match to watch.
Shake, guys.
For East Brunswick here at 150 pounds, Bailey Cuomo, senior. And for Woodbridge, who do we have?
Felix Medina. He's a 12-5 junior.
And both these wrestlers saw each other over winter break at the Bear Invitational. Quite the matchup, and this is going to be a rematch from the Bear Invitational. I think that match came down to only a couple of points, maybe just 1 point. So we'll see a competitive rematch here, and an important one where every point counts. Both wrestlers in here trying to get top control. Both wrestlers grabbing onto the legs, trying to spin around, trying to cover the hips. And East Brunswick scores first. 2-point takedown here for Cuomo. Medina gets to his feet. 1-point escape. Still neutral here as Cuomo went on a front headlock maybe. Trying to spin around. Medina blocking his leg, preventing him from spinning around, but he still does. Cuomo with another 2 points. 4-1 here for Cuomo.
Keep it straight, keep it straight.
You hear the ref saying, keep it straight. He's referring to an arm bar that Cuomo has across Medina's back. When you have an arm bar, it has to be 90 degrees, has to be straight in order to keep it legal. Safety of the wrestlers is important out there.
That's going to end our first period. East Brunswick on top 4-1. He defers his choice to Woodbridge. Medina elects the defense position.
Stay there, don't move. Come up top, Green.
Referee telling Woodbridge not to move, stay still. Pops up, tries to pancake. Picks up 2, going out of bounds. Covered the hips, met the criteria for a reversal.
Not when he was on his back, coach. You're down. You're there. He was out of bounds at that point. Come on.
Looks like head coach Joe Langle looking for an explanation here from the wrestling official.
Back up, back up, back up.
Well, it's twofold. You know, the coaches, maybe they can help get the next call by getting in your head a little bit. So
sure.
It's a strategy too.
Caution there on red.
I'll look for it, coach.
East Brunswick with the escape, picks up 1 point to extend his lead. 5-3 here at 150. Bailey in the offseason also participates in judo.
imagine that probably helps him with wrestling.
Yeah, and his dad and uncle have some wrestling experience back at Bridgewater Raritan in the day, so I'm sure that helps him as well. And Dad, his experience with the sport certainly can help you along a little bit.
And we have a scholar athlete too in Cuomo, 4.0 GPA in his senior year here at East Brunswick High School.
Impressive.
I'd say so. Medina trying to get Cuomo to his back with a throw.
No more.
We got a wild one here.
And it's waved off, no points. Cuomo returns, getting Medina to his back. He gets the
And
two,
the
he gets the
fall.
dip on a fall.
What a move.
What a move, and in a close match where we thought this would come down to just only a couple of bout points, we see Cuomo pick up, excuse me, a 6-point fall, a 6-point pin for East Brunswick. That's huge.
That's huge. That extends the team lead to 16-3.
Whose choice, guys? Red?
So Woodbridge started off this dual meet with a win in our first weight class, and East Brunswick with 3 unanswered victory, picking up 16 unanswered points from 138 through 150. As we take the action now to 157, and James Milligan taking on Lou Castandetta with a 4.0 GPA of his own for Woodbridge, the junior. And East Brunswick in quick with a headlock. He's got Lovey on the ropes. Casanda's fighting for survival out there. Referee's looking for the fall. Anybody that's ever wrestled knows that is an exhausting position to be on your back, fighting for survival, trying to fight off the pin. He's got at least 3 back points, but that's not going to come into play. It's a fall. Back-to-back falls for EB here. EB looking good. We're 5 weight classes in. It's been all EB since 132. We had a first period pin by Tyler Simkovich at 144. Then we had George Krasowitz with the pin, then Bailey Cuomo fall with a pin, and now James Milligan backs it up with another fall.
Now we're down to our 165-pound weight class. East Brunswick with Sar Hotchman. And for Woodbridge, Tyler Bullhauer.
Stay in the center, guys.
Well, Woodbridge doing good in the classroom. Tyler with a 4.1 GPA. He is 7-0 on the season.
1, 2.
Now he's got Sarah Hotchman in trouble. Hotchman pops through, gets off his back.
And he earns 2 near fall points there, which brings Bullhauer's lead to 4-0 against Hotchman here.
Bullhauer trying to work a near side cradle. Got that locked up tight. You're going to see him try to spin that back and pick up some back points.
And he does as we get some swipes here from the official. Hotchman able to roll through and break out of the cradle. Bullhauer picks up 3 additional near fall points, extending his lead to 7-0. As Hotchman seeks to get a reversal, and he does, right out the back door, bringing our score to 7-2.
Bullhauer was a tournament champion at Elizabeth just a weekend or 2 ago. In a 17-team field, he walked away with the gold, winning that tournament. He's got a 34-6 GPA. He's been wrestling for 9 years as he picks up a reversal here with 14 seconds to go in the second period at 165.
That's going to bring our score to 9-2 here. 9-2 here for Bullhauer.
So the referee indicating Green has
Green
choice.
defers.
He defers again to Woodbridge. Woodbridge takes top.
Red's up.
Got instructions from
You're
Mike
down, Green.
Monaco. The coach must know something about this wrestler's style. Usually when the
Set.
coach tells the
Don't
wrestler to
right.
take top, they're pretty good in pinning combinations.
That's right. Usually wrestlers turns either the neutral or the bottom position. That's where they feel they're at an advantage to earn some points. But in this case, the Woodbridge wrestler and the Woodbridge coach feel they're at a better advantage on top. And as we see here, he gets in on a cradle again. He's going to look to turn him to get some more near fall points. Hodgman able to break out of that cradle and get a reversal.
Well, he slipped through. He popped his head. So Hodgman scores off of that. Puts him back in the game. He's at 9-4, trailing in score. So we have Green on top in position for East Brunswick. Just got to stay behind him, control the hip, cover the hip, I should say. He's got to try to be heavy on him, use his weight to his advantage.
I hear some coaches out there saying, go side to side. Tell me what they're talking about.
Well, the earnest is on the top man to work for a fall. And you can't really do that from a parallel position. So the instruction is coming in to tee off, work to the side, which gives Bailey a better opportunity to try to turn his opponent. I'm sorry, that's flip a sheet here. That's Sar Hochman. So Hochman on top. Does have to come out to the side, or could get hit for stalling by being parallel.
Still 9-4 here as we have 30 seconds remaining in the second period of this 165-pound match.
Well, he's certainly not stalling. He's keeping busy. He's working hard. He's working for that 2-on-1 there on the near side.
And bottom wrestler here working to get an escape, trying to get to his feet. You see he has no luck.
Neutral!
They spin around, and Bullhauer's able to get out. So 1 point here for Bullhauer brings our score to 10-4, which is only a 6-point difference. If the match were to end here, how many points would Woodbridge earn?
They'd earn 3 team points. And the object of the game is to win big, lose small.
We're neutral. 1 green.
So you can help your team in a loss as much as a
Set.
win by keeping the score close.
So in this situation, Hodgman's going to try to keep the score close. Even if he doesn't win, keeping that difference, that score differential low, is going to help his team.
Not giving up the major or additional bonus points, as they're referred to.
So our score here is 10-4 as we go into the third period.
So again, the weight class is 165, but in reality, the wrestlers are allowed 2 extra points after January 15th of the season to allow for growth. So both wrestlers somewhere in the neighborhood of 167 pounds. And it's Woodbridge with the cross-face to spin around. He picks up a 2-point takedown. And
that's going to extend his lead to 12-4, which is now an 8-point lead.
right.
In that case,
Sar needs to try to score a couple points here, at least 1 to help his team out.
Neutral.
And he does. He's got another minute to work with, so his best defense here is to stay aggressive, stay offensive.
and he gives up another 2 takedown.
So Tyler Bullhouse with the takedown. He's working hard. He's looking for the fall.
Hodgman really needs to fight off his back here. It's going to save points for East Brunswick. 20 seconds left. Can he fight for 20 seconds? That's the question. Can he fight for 20 seconds?
Bullhauer is in a position here where he's not using his weight to his advantage, and it's allowing Hochman to keep his shoulders off the mat. Now he tightens it up.
Hodgman needs to fight for 5 seconds here. Can he fight for 5 seconds? And unfortunately, with 3.7 seconds remaining in the period and in the bout, Bullhauer secures a fall. It's going to give 6 points to Woodbridge here, bringing the team score to 22 for the Bears and 9 for the Barons.
Red choice again.
As we come to the 175-pound weight class here,
Thomas, you're
For
on this side.
East Brunswick, we have Israel Thomas. And for Woodbridge?
We're going to see the brother of Tyler
Shake
Bullhauser,
hands,
Jimmy
guys.
Bullhauser. He is a senior with a 12-5 record. Looks like Tyler has bragging rights on the GPA in the house with the 4.1, as Jimmy comes in with only a 3.8. How often do you get to say only a 3.8, huh?
I know, right?
Jimmy also a baseball and power lifter for the Barons.
And Thomas for East Brunswick, a football player. And Bullhauer looking for a takedown going out of bounds. He manages to lift up Thomas and keep him in bounds, taking him back down to the mat with control and securing 2 takedowns.
His teammates call him Yiz, so we can work with that. And Yiz trying to pop out the back there. He needs to get his knees off the mat, make himself tall. Needs to get them knees off the mat. Try to pop out the back door.
And the official stopping the match here for a potentially dangerous situation.
Come on, you're down.
Well, that is the official's primary job. #1 job is to protect the
Stay
wrestler's
there.
safety.
Up top.
Everything else is secondary after that.
Every time you see the official put one hand on the back of his head there, he's signaling just that, a call or a stoppage in play because he's looking out for the safety of the wrestlers.
Yids needs to belly down, look the other way, look away from that half. Bullhauser working a one-on-one. He's coming real close to what looks like a Blair ride. He's got to watch that arm so he doesn't put cross pressure on it. Picks up some back points. He is trying to fight his way out. He's got 12 seconds to go here in the first. So it's Woodbridge putting together 2 back-to-back pins of their own. Taking our team score to 22-15, going into 190. Woodbridge is going to send Eddie Kaminsky to the mat. And he might be making his debut. He comes in with a 0-0 record.
Come on, center.
I think for East Brunswick here, we have Russell Novak. At 190 pounds. Russell Novak here, in 11th grade. 8-4 on the season, been wrestling for about 7 years. Up against EJ, or Eddie Kaminsky. EJ, as they call him on the team. Relatively new to wrestling in his sophomore year. Hopefully this puts Novak at an advantage here. Novak in on a single. Kaminsky with the sprawl, trying to avoid the takedown. Novak switches to a double, and it works. 2 takedown here for Novak.
Got a deep half. Launching to his back. He's picking up back points. And he picks up a fall. Russell Novak with a first period fall. Extending East Brunswick's lead to 30-15. That's going to take us into the 215-pound weight class.
And another competitive match here coming up at 215. A lot of options for both teams for who they want to send out. So we'll see which team or which wrestlers both teams send out.
So for Woodbridge, it looks like Khalib Barahuna.
And for East Brunswick, Jose Rosado.
Barahuna with a 12-4 record. He's a senior.
Good guys.
20-18 career record. Plays football and baseball for the Barons.
And Rosado, a sophomore. 5-3 on the season. 5-3 in his career, his first year wrestling.
But picked it up pretty quick. 5-3 is impressive for a first-year wrestler. And when you get to the higher weight classes, you know, the opponents tend to be more upperclassmen. The lower weight classes, you get a mix in, freshmen, sophomores. When you get up to 215, you know you're probably wrestling somebody who's got some experience.
Sure.
A junior, a senior. Not always, but, you know, most of the time.
28-15, East Brunswick has the lead in the overall match. And looks like the fire alarm's going off. So we're going to get a stoppage in play as the school officials assess the situation. And it looks like we're going to evacuate. So we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back once we have a solution to the fire alarm going off, and we'll see you back here soon. All right, and we're back. We did have a fire alarm go off, and
Okay, we're all set.
Which might be a first in my recollection of East Brunswick matches. We evacuated the building midway through the first period here at 2:15. We're back in action. Just to refresh you, we're 0-0 a minute into the first period at 2:15, and we have Barahana from Woodbridge taking on Rosario of East Brunswick.
Rosado from East Brunswick, I think.
And it's Barahana on the board first with a 2-point takedown. On top in score, on top of position.
And our team score here, 28-15 for the Bears.
Baruna's trying to lock up a cradle on the near side.
Barahana
Steps
hooks the
through.
leg.
Rosado doing a good job of bellying down and staying heavy to avoid being turned. The referee stops the match for blood.
Look
Tell
at me, Red.
us a little
Who's
bit
bleeding?
what we do with blood here,
Where?
Garrett.
Nose?
So in this case, the official
Someone's
identified blood on the mat,
Let me see. Oh,
and
green, blood green.
he stops the match for blood
right
time,
there.
which is going to give the East Brunswick wrestler here, Rosado, 5 minutes of blood time. That gives him some time to get the blood fixed, cleaned up, and get back to wrestling. So you'll see the trainer out there and the head and assistant coach for East Brunswick out there using the opportunity to coach the wrestler, talk to him, and take advantage of that 5 minutes.
If you're watching at home and you're not familiar with wrestling, how likely is it that the blood will stop in 5 minutes, and what would happen if it does not?
Most matches you see it does get stopped.
Okay,
Most
stop
matches
that blood time.
wrestlers are able to get back to wrestling, and in this case we do. We see the blood time is stopped. But if not, then that's a default.
And that time is recorded.
crowd, okay?
And if it should happen again, it's cumulative. It'll be added to the next stoppage. So it's the 5 minutes is total throughout the bout.
Freeze, don't move. Come up top.
Referee telling East Brunswick to stay still, wait for his opponent to cover on top. Whistle's blown. It's 6 seconds to go here in the first period.
Rosado working for an escape or reversal here, and doesn't get it as time expires. We'll go to Red's choice here, which is Barahana's choice. Barahana, in the beginning of the second period here, elects to go on bottom, which will put Rosado on top. Rosado will have choice in the third period. So we're going to start here at the beginning of the second period with Rosado in control. Barahana gets to his feet, turns his hips, and secures an escape. So that's 1 point escape for Barahana. And Rosado in quick on a single, converts it to a double leg, but unable to really suck those legs in. And Barahana sprawls out, spins around, locks up a cradle, gets a 2 takedown and some near fall points here, and counting. This could be a big point swing here for Barahana. As Barahana uses this cradle to look for a fall, we see the official looking underneath to see if we can get both shoulders or scapula to the mat for 2 seconds. If he does, Barahana secures a fall.
Green. I got blood on green.
Rosado able to get back to his stomach, which gives the 3-point near fall to Barahana, and we have blood time again. So as you mentioned before, blood time picks back up where we left off. About 45 seconds expired the first time, so we'll start at about, he's got about 4 minutes and change to clean up the blood again.
So the referee handled that situation very well with the fire alarm. Gave the wrestlers a couple minutes to warm up, and then we just resumed action again.
You've been around the sport a long time. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been around the sport and the extension of your knowledge.
Well, I don't want to age myself, but I've been around wrestling pretty much as a referee since
Stop that blood
1980.
time,
1881. I graduated high school here at East Brunswick in 1980, and Garrett, you graduated in 2000, testing my parental skill here.
I'll give it to you.
2013?
You're right.
All right.
Dad of the year.
So 2 EB grads coming at you here from the gym.
And blood time stopped with some time remaining, so now we're just going to get a quick cleanup. The cleanup here does not count against the wrestler. You know, there's always a little bit of cleanup that the trainer has to do. We're not going to count that against the wrestler as she cleans up and heads off the mat. We'll get a restart here in a top-bottom situation.
Also
with
an EB grad.
Also an EB grad, our trainer.
Yeah. And our coach, Matt Bazinko. We just had a look at him a second ago. So
Rosado here on bottom, Barahona here on top. Barahona with an 8-point lead, 8-0, looking for another turn to extend that lead. Right now, if the match were to end here, it'd just be a major decision, but Barahona wants to extend that lead and look for more points. Rosado trying to get up to his feet, trying to work a base, trying to stand up. Barahona looking for a leg, an arm, a wrist, something.
Blood on green, blood.
And we're back to blood time.
Buddy.
So we got about 3.5 minutes remaining on the blood time clock, which is plenty of time here to continue cleaning up.
I'll get a look at Joe Langle, head coach of East Brunswick, former Rutgers wrestler.
And also local New Jersey native, wrestled at Howell, state champ at Howell. Been the head coach here, I think, for 4 years, assistant coach prior to that. Ranked wrestler coming out of high school, going into college. So a lot of wrestling experience here for head coach Joe Langle, doing a lot of good things here for the program.
Our official Ron Bobnowski, 111. He's a former coach of Union High School.
It's
Been an official ever since, last several years, and state level official. We're lucky to have him here at the gym tonight.
Also on the mat there, Jen, our trainer, graduate in 2012. So a lot of East Brunswick alumni here on the mat.
Stop the blood time.
And blood time stops. 2.5 minutes remaining in blood time. So now we're just in cleanup again. Cleanup doesn't count against the wrestler. And you'll see the trainer there just wiping some blood off. Again, just clean up so that we can get back to wrestling.
It's a little spot by the canister.
Coach Langle using the opportunity here to coach his wrestler.
Make sure you're clean.
Give him some advice before we return to wrestling.
Turn around for me. Okay, you're good. Do we have a gauze or something?
That's our mic on the referee picking up referee's instructions. It's a great little feature here by EBTV. We appreciate that.
It evaporate fast. You're down, face me, bud.
And we'll get a restart here with Rosado on bottom, Barahona on top. We've got 40 seconds remaining in the second period of this 215-pound bout. Barahona with an 8-point lead, 8-0 in this bout. East Brunswick still ahead, 28-15 against the Barons in the overall match. Barahona looking for a turn, unable to get it. Barahona in on a crossface with his left arm.
Blood on green!
And we're back to blood time.
No, don't do that. We'll clean you up.
And we're back to blood time.
Just stay there. Coach will clean you up. You're going to have to breathe through your mouth. It's going to be fun.
If the fire alarm goes off again, we have the fire department in the building. We do not have to leave the building. It will be on test.
And an announcement
so we will
there.
Continue to wrestle, guys.
An announcement there from
Don't stop.
An announcement there from the athletic director.
There's a garbage can right there, buddy.
Stating that if the fire alarm does go off again, we will not evacuate. We've got the fire department on site. So if you hear the fire alarm go off in the background, and you don't see anybody moving, We're going to stay put. We're going to keep wrestling. The action goes on. The show goes on, as they say in
As
show
our
business.
cameraman adds to the fun here and gets a little shot of our fire signal.
We're going to keep a close eye on that. Appreciate you, everyone that's tuning in here for tonight's match. We'll be back again, by the way. We'll use this moment to share. We'll be back again on February 7th as East Brunswick takes on Marlborough at home in the East Brunswick High School gym. Again, that's Tuesday, February 7th, as East Brunswick takes on Marlborough for another exciting match here at 6 o'clock. On Tuesday, February 7th. And you'll have us back.
Okay.
Stu Kohn and Garrett here.
Let's clean them up first.
Cone head combo.
And because of the excessive stoppage for blood time here, it was an obvious situation where the method of plugging or trying to stop the bleeding was not staying, which was just a simple plug of gauze or some sort of tissue up the nose for the East Brunswick wrestler. In this case, it didn't work, and we had a lot of stoppages in place. So you saw here the trainer applied a bandage all the way around the wrestler's head, which is going to keep that bandage in place. It's going to hopefully prevent the breathing, prevent the bleeding. It might make a little bit.
I think it might prevent the breathing too.
It might. I think it's going to make it a little difficult for Rosado to breathe here. But you know, the show goes on. You got to keep wrestling, and it's a strategic play here too, because if the blood time expires, then Rosado could risk losing the match. So Rosado's going to do what he has to do to stop that blood. We'll restart top-bottom situation, believe it or not. Still in the second period here, 25 seconds remaining. Barahana on top. Rosado looking for an escape. Unable to get it. Barahana takes advantage of the opportunity, turns Rosado to his back, accumulates some near fall points. We've got 10 seconds remaining, and a pin here for Barahana with 10 seconds remaining here in the second period. A long second period that concluded with a fall here and 6 points for the Woodbridge Barons, bringing the team score to 28-21.
Well, that bout with the fire alarm stoppage, the blood stoppage, that one bout might have took longer than our first 8. As we're going to roll into heavyweight here for East Brunswick.
And a strategic play here for East Brunswick. Ben Ehrlich, weighing in at 215 pounds, is going to be bumped up from the 215-pound weight class and is going to wrestle heavyweight here for East Brunswick. So for 285 for East Brunswick, Ben Ehrlich against Woodbridge's
Kevin Rosario, who's a 5'2" junior.
Ehrlich, a senior, 8-4 on the season, 8-4 on his career. Another first-year wrestler here, wrestling at heavyweight.
These guys probably both see each other on the football field.
Rosario in on an early takedown. Ehrlich able to get to his feet for a quick one. So we're 2-1 here. 2-1 here for Rosario in this bout. Again, the 285 heavyweight weight class. And it's a close match, only a 7-point difference between the Bears and the Barons as we approach the final bouts of the evening. And Rosario in on another takedown. Ehrlich to his feet again. They didn't create any separation or distance, but Ehrlich able to take Rosario down as they go out of bounds, which is going to earn Ehrlich a 2-point reversal. A 2-point reversal, which brings our score to 4-3 for Rosario. So 4-3 Rosario.
Well, while we have a quick break, I'll explain that situation to you. No back points were awarded.
Turn around. Turn around. Turn around.
Because the knees are better for the back points. Feet will secure you the takedown or the reversal, but you do need the knees are better inbounds to pick up the back points or the fall.
Rosario getting to his feet. Ehrlich trying to bring him back down to the mat. Ehrlich does not have a lot of time to do that. He has to make a very aggressive attempt in control there when they're on their feet to bring his opponent back down to the mat, and he does.
Well, just by the visual eye, not knowing anybody weighed in at, Ehrlich has certainly given up a pound-for-pound advantage to his Woodbridge opponent, clearly outweighing him. So Ehrlich's going to use his athletic ability to keep him in this bout. He's going to have to rely on technique and strength to overcome the weight advantage by Rosario. And Ehrlich is trying to work a half on the near side. He ran out of time there.
And we'll go to Green's choice here.
And he defers, and Woodbridge elects to be
We're
neutral. Woodbridge wrestlers
Right
taking
here,
some
guys.
deep breaths there.
Right here.
Maybe
Set.
Ehrlich has him on the ropes a little bit with conditioning as well. Ehrlich looks like a well-built athlete, just giving up some pounds here.
Sure, as I mentioned before, Ehrlich bumping up from the 215-pound weight class. A strategic move here for the East Brunswick team and East Brunswick coaches. Rosario throws his weight into Ehrlich with a quick takedown and back exposure for near fall points. He does get them, so he gets a 5-point move. That's a 5-point move for Rosario, followed by a quick escape by Ehrlich.
Well, this is going to be one of those pin or B-pin matches. I smell it coming. These guys are going at each other. They're throwing everything at you from the kitchen sink on.
9-4 here for Rosario.
These guys are battling.
We'll go out of bounds. We'll get a fresh start in the center on our feet. We're neutral. Again, 9-4 here.
Anybody that's ever wrestled will tell you it is physically exhausting. When you're carrying around your opponent's weight, it's a dubious task. So we're at 9-4. Woodbridge on top in the bout. East Brunswick on top 28-21 in our team score. East Brunswick has a couple good lightweights in the wings. We get a look at Dominic Lazar coming up next. After heavyweight, we drop back down to 106. You're going to see these guys get a lot smaller in our next bout.
Both wrestlers here fighting for control on the head.
Well, Garrett, you know, we always used to wrestle back in the day, starting at the first weight class and going through heavyweight. And at some point they realized, hey, the same kid's getting all the pressure having to go last. So a few years ago that was changed to a random draw, which they do at the weigh-ins. As today we started at 132, which means our match will end at 126. So we have 4 weight classes to go at the conclusion of this bout.
And just there at the end of the period, Ehrlich able to secure a takedown, which closes the distance on the score. Will be 9-6 going into the third period. Rosario with the lead. Green chooses bottom. Ehrlich goes on bottom, which will put Rosario on top as we enter the third period.
We alluded to it a little bit earlier, how those bonus points play a key. You know, you want to win big and lose small. So that's the strategy East Brunswick needs in these last few bouts. Try to win big and lose small in these 4 bouts left as they cling on to a 7-point team advantage right now. But, you know, giving up bonus points, that can go away quickly. Ehrlich needs to look away from that half. Try to get back to his feet. He doesn't want that weight on top of him. He wants to try to set the table and explode back up. He's in this bout, 9-6. A lot can happen in 1 minute and 24 seconds we have left. Wants to get out of that position, wants to belly away from that.
And a big 6-point move here for Rosario from Woodbridge, securing the fall here midway through the third period. Ehrlich looks slow to get up. Nothing illegal, nothing necessarily dangerous about the move there, but Ehrlich looking a bit shaken up by that move. Some good sportsmanship here as both wrestlers turn to the center of the mat, exchange a handshake and a hug. And Rosario gets his hand raised there for the third period pin. That's going to bring our team score to 28-27. An exciting match here, Dad.
As Dominic Lazar takes the mat for East Brunswick, this guy's been wrestling since he was born. His dad is well-known, respected club owner, wrestling club owner. So I'm sure Dominic's been around and exposed to wrestling his entire life.
Dominic been wrestling, like you said, basically since he was born. 8 years. He's only a freshman.
Woodbridge wrestler tries a quick headlock. Dom counters that. Quick plug for CJA Wrestling, the home of Lazark Wrestling in Milltown. Great place for wrestlers to go to get some extra training, and that's Dominic's dad, Gene, who runs that club, and I'm sure it's paid dividends for Dominic here. That we'll see at 106.
Up against Makai Thomas here from Woodbridge, also a freshman, 3-3 on the season.
Now Dominic's 11-1. That only loss coming in the finals of the East Brunswick Bear Classic early in the season. The pleasure of officiating that match. That's why I'm aware of it. But Dominic in now, trying to cut the corner. Woodbridge wrestler steps over it and picks up the first takedown. Mackie Thomas, been wrestling for 5 years. Mackay on top in score, on top in position.
Mackay keeping Lazark down on the mat, but we see the referee signaling locked hands here. Tell us what that means here, Stu.
Well, Dominic's going to pick up 1 point. The wrestler on top cannot
You're down, buddy.
lock his hands unless he's in a pinning combination.
Hands, okay? Stay there.
So it's going to be 1 point for Lazark, who's on bottom, trailing 2-1. Would love to score some points here with 24 seconds to go in the first. You have a little bit of reaction time when you go to your feet to release the lock, which we saw there. Dominic.
Lazark securing the reversal, an additional 2 near fall points. It's a 4-point swing for Lazark. That's going to bring our score to 5-2.
So Lazark is in control here.
It looks like a funky situation to our viewers here, but Lazark, because he had control, even in that situation, he maintained contact and maintained control. Red's choice here, Red's going to take neutral.
Well, officials got mostly everything right so far tonight, and is calling a great match.
He is. Lazark here early in the second period on a quick takedown with only 5 seconds off the clock at the second period.
And one thing about wrestling, you know, 3-4 people can watch the same match. Everybody sees it a little bit different. You know, whether you got coach's eyes, parent eyes, wrestler eyes, official eyes, it's everybody looking at the same action, but maybe sees it a little bit different.
Keep that straight.
Lazark looking for an armbar here. You hear the official in his mic saying, keep it straight, keep it straight. He's giving mat awareness to the wrestlers, telling Lazark to keep his armbar straight across the back. As a part of wrestling, the armbar there became potentially dangerous because it wasn't straight across the back, so the official
You're down, face that way.
stops the match for a potentially dangerous situation here.
Wait.
And we'll reset top bottom in the center of the mat.
Stay there. Come on up.
7-2 lead here for Lazark against Thomas. Lazark in on an armbar again. Going to try to turn Thomas to his back and secure more points. Extend his 5-point lead if he can get exposure to the back and pick up some near fall points.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You hear the official counting. He's counting for near fall points. Lazark looking for the pin, and he gets it. A 6-point pin for Lazark. That 6 points goes on to the team score for the Bears. It's going to extend the Bears' lead to 34-27 as we approach the final 3 bouts.
Good choice, ladies.
That was big. East Brunswick needed those bonus points.
Don't kill me.
Those bonus points make a big difference as we come into only the final couple of bouts. And here at 113 pounds for East Brunswick, we've got Jake Gleeski.
And for Woodbridge, Andrew Roy, 7-8 junior, 12-20 career record. And it's Jake on the board first with a 2-point takedown awarded.
Jake, a freshman, 13-3 on the season.
1, 2.
Looking for some near fall points. We hear the official counting for 2 near fall points.
Crazy little exchange there, but East Brunswick stays on top, picks up 2 back points in the
Keep that
process.
straight.
Extends
Keep it
Jake's
flat,
lead to
2 on the
4-0.
back. Don't lift it. Don't lift it.
You hear some commentary from the official. Again, you mentioned earlier, Dad, that the official's responsibility more than anything is the safety of the wrestlers. And in this case, the official's obligated and often instructed to give some advice to the wrestlers as they wrestle to make sure that there's good safety. And in this case, you heard the official saying, keep it legal, or keep it 90, or keep it straight, or keep it on the back. He's making sure that Jake knows to keep that move legal. An additional 2-point near fall for Jake extends his lead to 6-0.
Well, Jake is an out-of-season MMA Tiger Schulman fighter, and he says he likes fighting. I'm sure that helps keep him in great shape for wrestling. Indicative of a 13-3 start here as a freshman. So the future looks bright for East Brunswick in the lower weight classes with Lazark and Gwiesky.
Like East Brunswick, Woodbridge, also a young team, only graduating 2 seniors this year.
East Brunswick is vastly improved from last year.
Red's choice.
Did a lot of out-of-season wrestling,
Where you going, bud?
tournament wrestling, club wrestling, and it's paid off.
Neutral.
Woodbridge takes neutral.
We'll start on our feet here. 6-0 lead for Jake. Jake gonna look to secure more points if he can extend the lead and put us in a bonus point situation. East Brunswick can extend their match point lead. And Jake looking to get a quick takedown. Roy in on a headlock, unable to secure it. Jake slips out, secures 2 takedown, extends his lead to 8-0. So we have an 8-0 lead here for Jake Gwiesky from East Brunswick.
February 26th and 27th, all of Middlesex County will get together for the GMC Boys County Tournament, which will be held up at Piscataway High School. This past weekend, or this past Monday, MLK Day, the girls had their county tournament. And East Brunswick had fine performance in that tournament. Oh, I'm sorry. It's January 27th, 28th. Thank you for correcting me, Garrett. January 27th, 28th will be the GMC Boys Tournament. Friday night and all day Saturday, and that'll be held up, like I said, Piscataway High School. As Gwiesky has a half in here, he's looking to pick up some back points. Needs to arch his back.
He's got plenty of
tighten
time.
that up.
Plenty of time here. 35 seconds remaining in the second period. Enough time to secure a fall.
And that's a key fall, Garrett, because that's going to put East Brunswick up by 13 with 2 bouts to go, and it's going to, as long as they don't give up any team technical violations, that's going to secure the win for them.
Even if East Brunswick gives up 2 pins back-to-back, that would only give Woodbridge 12 points. So that would bring our final score, if that situation were to happen, to 40-39. So East Brunswick just going to try to protect the lead that they have and hang on to the win here against Woodbridge. At the 120-pound weight class for East Brunswick, we've got Daniel Montgomery.
And he'll take on Angelo Campos. Campos is 7-8 sophomore.
Montgomery, a 1-3 sophomore.
Campos also a football player.
Don't pull on that. Don't pull on that.
And Montgomery, a tennis player. Also his first year wrestling. Campos in on an early takedown. 2-0 here for Campos.
Easy with that.
You hear the official saying easy on that. Just giving the wrestlers some hint, trying to keep them using safe moves. Safety of the wrestlers, the most important thing out here.
Free advice. Take it.
Campos looking for a Turk here. You see he's got the wrist with one hand. He was trying to go for the leg with the other hand as we approach 1 minute remaining in the first period. Campos looking to turn Montgomery to his back and pick up some additional points, extend his lead. Still not gaining those points. You see the official sitting there. What he's looking for is Montgomery's shoulders to extend beyond 45 degrees, and once they do, he starts to count. In this case, he counts to 5 seconds, which is going to give Campos 3 additional near fall points, bringing Campos' lead to 5-0. So those 3 near fall points. Campos unable to get another turn here at the buzzer.
I got blood on green.
We're back to blood time on green. So Montgomery here will get 5 minutes. And you hear the official signaling to the coach saying you also have choice. So when we return for the second period, Montgomery here from East Brunswick is going to have choice, top, bottom, neutral, or he can defer to the third period and give choice in the second period to Campos.
Just as I was about to say earlier, we're going right along without injury times and blood times. We've made up for it on the tail end of this match.
Sure have.
Throw in a fire alarm or two, and
stop the blood
makes for a longer night.
All right.
Cut the blood time here, only 45 seconds used. And it's Green's choice. So you hear the official saying, Green, it's your choice. Green
defers.
Signals that he defers to red.
Choice.
Red will get choice. And Campos from Woodbridge chooses neutral. The choice will come back to Montgomery in the third period, should we see the third period. Campos in on a quick takedown. Likely part of the strategy there in taking neutral, knowing he'd be able to get a quick takedown and get 2 quick points.
Well, that's one of the places East Brunswick has shown improvement this year, not giving up those bonus points.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We hear the official counting. He's counting for how many seconds Montgomery's back is exposed to the mat. And he counted to 5, so he's holding 3 points. He won't award it yet, and it won't come into play as Campos secures a fall and 6 points for the team score for Woodbridge.
Okay,
That'll bring our team score to 40-33 as we move into the final bout of the evening, our 126-pound bout, where East Brunswick is going to send out Aiden Sampson, but it looks like Woodbridge is lined up to shake hands, which indicates they might not send someone out. They may be forfeiting this match, and they do. So Sampson earns the forfeit, which is 6 points for East Brunswick. You'll see both teams come on out to the mat to shake hands as we bring our match to a close here. Final score, East Brunswick Bears 46, Woodbridge Barons 33.
How about a quick recap, Garrett? Weight class by weight class. Give it to us real quick.
Sure. As we go through the lineup here at 132 pounds, we saw Woodbridge earn a decision. 138 pounds, Shamey from East Brunswick. 144 pounds, Grostowitz from East Brunswick. 150 pounds, Bailey Cuomo from East Brunswick with back-to-back wins. And as we went into the heavier weights, 165 pounds, both Bullhauer brothers with wins, pins in both their matches. 190 pounds, Novak from East Brunswick won the 190-pound weight class. At 215 pounds, Barahana for Woodbridge, followed by Rosario at heavyweight with that third period pin. Brought the match pretty close, and as we went into the lightweights, Lazark and Guiski and Campos, all with their own respective pins, bringing our final score plus the forfeit to 46-33 for East Brunswick. Again, 46 for the Bears, 33 for Woodbridge. A big win here for East Brunswick. We'll be back here on EBTV in just a couple of weeks as East Brunswick hosts Marlborough for another exciting match. A big win here this evening for East Brunswick. And we'll roll up the mats and we'll sign off. We'll see you soon. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Hey, for Stu Kohn and Garrett Kohn, thanks for joining us tonight.